Welcome to episode 177 of the Planet Destiny podcast. We are back once again to talk about all the goings on in the world of Destiny 2. Hi everybody, we're back with actually basically the full crew this time around. It's weird since we've had everybody here. I'm a little spooked.
Yeah, I've been gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but happy
We've
birthday
missed
to Peepaw, to Big Nimpaw.
Papa
Oh,
Nim.
yeah.
Papa
Yeah,
Nim.
Big Papa Nim. That was cool. I like that. We've got your usual crew. Nim is back. Say hi, Nim.
Hi. I missed your faces.
Oh, did you? Are you lying to them?
Look, I am.
That's the trade-off. Nim's back, but he's more honest. He, spent some time with his therapist, learned to get his emotions out. He doesn't actually think anybody's beautiful. You know who does, though? Danfinity.
Oh, hello there, beautiful.
See? Oh, man, this man is smooth. Talking about...
I made a cocktail. Why don't you come over here into my den? I made one for you as well.
See,
Is
that
your den actually over there?
scares the crap out of me. That's what that is.
I don't think his den's actually that direction.
That's the basement. And I hope you like ginger.
A lot of ginger.
A lot of ginger.
A lot of ginger.
A lot of ginger. Not as much ginger as Aura, though.
I'm Italian. Dan, don't spit it. Don't spit it out.
I
had to save it. I had to save it. God damn it, Aura.
What?
God damn it.
That was the only correct response in that situation. Congratulations, Aura. You knew what type of show this was when you clicked in. So we're back. We're back to talk about these things. How's it going, everybody? You all had yourselves a fun week in the world of Destiny 2?
Heck yeah.
Find fun
Enjoyment.
Yes.
here and there.
Yeah,
Very
kind of a lot
much.
of things going on. We've got another full curse week going around. I think it's the second to last one of season 4. Stuff going on this week. It was a free Gambit weekend. I hope a lot of Guardians who maybe jumped into Destiny 2 on PC got a chance to enjoy that. It was also double infamy, which means you were probably experiencing a lot more Queenbreakers than usual, including mine, because I got it. And screw you, I'm using it every time I invade.
God damn it, TVL.
Hey, I ain't mad about it. I've been dealing with getting Queen broken basically since the sleeper nerf, and I got it. I got it from playing comp this weekend. Immediately took it into Gambit. I would apologize to that team, but I'm not going to. I went through mine. You've got to go through yours too.
So it goes.
That gun is a little dumb.
Isn't the hitbox like huge on it?
Oh, it's ridiculous. The hitbox
It's
is
massive.
absolutely. You can hit a foot above somebody's head, and it'll be a headshot.
There's a video on Reddit of somebody cleaning up 4 people, and he got the third. Like after the third one, he goes for the 4th guy. It was on the map that is in the Dreaming City.
Yeah.
He goes for the 4th guy, who's dodging down. He's trying to get toward that portal that lands you up on the island, and he's maybe shooting like 2 feet to the right of the guy. He fires, and it still counted. The guy evaporated.
Yeah. It says that the aim assist on that thing is 60, but I refuse to believe that.
In comparison to aim assist on what other weapons? Like,
Any of the other linear fusions.
like 40, 30. Because some of them have been pretty generous when I've been playing PvP. I went for
They
the
all are.
Triumph for headshots for fusion rifles the other day, and I was using a regular. I don't even know what it was called, and it was pretty generous with the hit detection, the headshot registry. It wasn't a Queenbreaker because I don't have it. So
Is Crooked Fang Tarantula?
Let's see. I'm actually on Dim right now. Crooked Fang has an aim
Crooked
assistance
Fang.
of 61, so
yeah, it's Crooked
one
Fang.
higher
Yep,
than
that's
the Queenbreaker.
Queenbreaker.
Allegedly.
But I think that the difference with that is I haven't tested them out yet, but I'm fairly certain that when you shoot somebody in the leg with the Crooked Fang, you're going to shoot their leg. But if you shoot somebody in the leg with the Queenbreaker, you're going to shoot their head.
Headshot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
I did that test in the review for the Queenbreaker on the Planet Destiny channel, and I was shooting my friend straight up in the knee, and it was counting as a precision headshot. Like you can shoot the general space around his head, and it'll count it as a precision headshot.
And
Interesting.
it's different based on whether you're using the marksman sight and the combat sight,
No.
isn't it? Is it the same?
No, it's literally the same thing. So that's why I don't run the marksman sight, but you don't need
You
to.
don't need to, yeah.
Like the marksman sight will give you a little bit more range. Like for example, if you're on the Nessus Gambit map and you spawn at base and you have somebody that's chilling by their portal, then you would switch to the marksman sight to get them. But you can just use the combat sight, have absolutely like 0 charge time, and still map people with it without actually aiming at them.
If anybody's been paying attention to my Twitter feed, you saw that exact situation.
Yeah.
Popped in at base. This is fine. Let me just stay back here. Bloop headshot, bloop headshot, bloop headshot. It's a disgusting weapon. I'm actually looking at some of the other linear fusions right now, and stuff like the Tarantula has an aim assist stat of like 58. Crooked Fang, like we said, is 61.
What's the Man of War?
I'm not sure about the man. Let's see. The Man of
the Man of War is my go-to.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have a man. Yeah, I don't think I have a Man of War on PC.
I have one.
Let's take a look.
Aim assist 61.
61,
same
so
as
it matches the Queenbreaker, allegedly. Yeah, that seems to be, in the 60s is where most of them seem to be. Like the Dead Orbit one is 63. You know, we talked about Man of War and Tarantula there. I'm not sure what it is about the Queenbreaker that makes it so ridiculous. I do know that whatever it is, it basically feels exactly like Queenbreaker did in D1. Like almost like they just kind of copied and pasted the code for it and brought it into D2. And I know them. But I don't know if there's just something about the way it registers headshot hitboxes, but it's clearly different than most of the other guns in the game. I think Aura, you're right. I think most linear fusions are rather forgiving when it comes to headshots. I've definitely noticed that with other linear fusions, but with the Queenbreaker, it's in another league for how dumb it is to get and how easy it is to get headshots with that thing. It is as more and more people start to get it, Gambit's gonna be a fun place.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: linear fusion rifles don't one shot to the body and take you out like any other fusion rifle. In theory, would if you land the bolts, they're a lot tighter together. There's more of them that come out at the same time. Yada yada. Is the hitbox and is the headshot registry generous on these weapons because they have a charge rate associated with them, which in theory would make them harder to land precision shots? Like if I have a regular sniper or a linear fusion rifle and I have my option of a guaranteed headshot, I'm going to go with no charge rate because I don't have to be on target as long.
Yep.
So is that why their stats are all over 50, above 60 in most cases?
I would say 100%. I think a huge reason for why linear fusions in particular are so forgiving when it comes to headshots is that charge time. Otherwise, it's like you're just going to be hit. If you can't one-shot body shot, and all you can do is one-shot headshot, use a faster weapon like a sniper that doesn't have a charge time. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons. It's probably how Bungie decided to balance those things out just a little bit, which is fine. You know, I think that gives utility there to linear fusions because it makes them, at least in PvP, easier to use than snipers, but less available since they're heavy weapons.
What if you took the hitbox and you cut it into like a quarter, but a body shot is a kill?
Oh, well, then you got problems with some of those really fast charging linear fusions. Like you basically just created a faster sleeper simulant.
Yeah.
Cause problems.
I mean, when D2 launched, like linear fusion rifles were probably the lowest used of the heavy classes, and it wasn't up until recently, which for some reason they decided to up the aim assist on linear fusion rifles even more. Which, I mean, I don't know why, but
Got to get those usage numbers up.
I guess, yeah. Season
It's a
of the
weird
linear
weapon.
fusion.
It's kind of like
rifles.
those. Like, where does it fit? Right? Like, it's
Right.
kind of like
Yeah.
they made this. Was there? Were there linear? There weren't linear fusion rifles in Destiny 1, were there? I don't think
We had
there were.
Queenbreaker and
Queenbreakers and Sleeper.
And
right?
sleeper.
Yeah, those were the only two, I
This
believe.
weapon class came with Destiny 2, though, right? It shipped
Mhm.
with vanilla.
Right.
Yeah.
I was soloing the Shattered Throne today, and for the first few rooms, I brought a linear fusion rifle with me because they're so generous with ammunition and they hit so hard. I was able to clear out ads pretty pretty well with bringing it. They're really effective weapons in PvE too. They hit
Absolutely.
pretty hard.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean they were when Warmind came out, they were buffed pretty pretty generously for PvE. I mean, people were running like Crooked Fangs for Escalation Protocol because it was doing more damage than snipers were.
Yeah, they for some reason dealt more damage to the hive specifically in EP. That was
Yeah.
weird. That was really weird.
Yeah, it's strange, but yep, they're strong. They're really strong. Queenbreakers is
Mhm.
unnecessarily strong.
So is it just Nim and I here who have Queenbreaker?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
have it.
unlucky.
I don't know if I'd use
That's
it if
all.
I did. Yeah, I don't know if I would use it if I did. Honestly,
I have no problem using it. I've been
See,
getting queened enough.
the thing is that like, yeah, it's a really good weapon, and I play a lot of Gambit,
Mm-hmm.
and I find that like, in order to contest now versus invaders, I have to use the Queenbreaker because they're clearly gonna have an advantage over me if I'm using my Mana War. Because
Mhm.
my typical Gambit loadout is Malfeasance, Ikilos, and then Mana War.
Right.
Because like I don't pick up moats. That's every other blueberry in the match is literally just gonna run towards them. So all I
Right.
focus on is just the blockers and invaders. But now with more Queenbreakers, showing up and popping up, it's like I have to give up my Malfeasance to have the Queenbreaker on, so I can at least try to contest. Because the charge time and the aim assist on that thing is just absolutely ridiculous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can do some real damage with that thing, and it's a really powerful gun. I don't know exactly if I would like for it to be nerfed per se. I think
The aim assist needs to come down.
something might need to happen with that.
No, it's like
Yeah, the charge rate is fine. I think.
Yeah, the charge
ability
rate
to
is fine.
headshot, one hit kill is fine.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe something with the assist.
Yeah, but when you physically don't have to aim at a person's body to get a precision headshot, that's a problem.
Actually, just for the people who are here live, I linked a tweet in chat so you can go and see how quick and easy this thing is to use. It's super, super ridiculous, and it kind of turns you into a one-man army. Whereas, as an invader, you already get a lot of benefits. You get that overshield. You get the situational awareness. You can see everybody on the field. That's hugely powerful for a decent player. This is just giving you a one-shot weapon from across the map like Sleeper, except it charges faster, and most of your shots are going to be a one-hit kill either way because it registers anything from like here to here. You guys can't even see how far my hand is down as a headshot. It's
all the way down in Australia.
It's a little ridiculous. Yeah, all the way down in Australia. Yeah, you can aim on the other side of the planet and one-shot kill your target. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do about that.
Full curse week has meant that the meatball spawns more in Gambit, correct?
Allegedly.
It does.
Allegedly.
Tell me more.
I'd love to tell you more. I've played like 20 games of Gambit thus far this week. Still haven't seen it. Not even a hint of it.
I ran with Jaden, aka Mod Sherpa, Bibletron, and Light Razor for 3 matches. We ran 3 matches on Tuesday. First one, nothing. Second one, nothing. Third one, holy shit, it's the meatball! Guys, it's the meatball! I didn't even think that we'd get it. Or that we'd win against the team because they had a 1K voices.
Yeah.
But we pulled it out and we stuck the landing, so we all got the quest. And I gotta say that strike afterward is a little sobering.
Really?
Malfi strike?
Yeah, the Malfi strike is it's tough, man.
At least you know that the weapon's totally worth your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like super duper, really good, awesome weapon, top tier, most incredibly powerful gun. Maybe I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Are we talking
That's
about
why I went
Malfi?
hard for it in the paint. Not
Enjoy
at all.
it
This
Enjoy
week.
your Malfi, dude.
I did that
have
strike,
fun.
and that was pretty much all of the grinding I did for it this week.
So What even are the steps for Malfeasance? I've completely forgotten it.
So after you get the Seething Heart, you have to kill 25 taken mini bosses. Then you have to do, I believe, the Corrupted, which is the strike.
Right.
When you do that, you'll get the Depleted Core, which has you deposit a bunch of motes. And if you lose any motes, you'll lose like a double percentage of what you got.
Oh yeah.
Then you have to do Gambit Wins, which is currently bugged. You can play Crucible and win, and it'll count for your Gambit Wins.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And once you're done with that, you have to get invader kills, and you have to invade and get an army of 1, which means kill the 4 enemy enemy people when you invade.
So shoot Queenbreaker 4 times.
Yes. Or if you're not comfortable invading, you can send somebody in your team over, and they have to get an army of 1 3 times, and it'll count for your quest.
Okay.
And then bada bing, bada boom, you'll have your Malfeasance.
So you can play Crucible and win.
For
now. They haven't patched it yet.
No.
The only patch that we got this week was one line, fixed an issue with where some players were unable to access the Lost Cryptarch quest. So I'm not worried about that this week.
Right.
Not worried about them patching that this week. But so you're telling me that I could go into Rumble, get 3rd place, and have that count?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It'll count for your Gambit wins.
Shades of the Chaperone quest back in the Taken King coming in here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm just gonna go play SRL. Oh boy. There we go. That'll substitute for last word kills. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, I remember now. I watched Blessius go through his grind for Malfeasance a month or 2 ago, and I remember him doing the banking motes part. That looked like it was soul draining.
It's soul draining if you don't have a team, if you're going in there by yourself.
So me.
Because I did that part of the quest like half by myself and half with team members, and it's much easier when you're with a fire team because it's just like, hey, nobody fucking touch the motes and we'll be good. But yeah, that's
okay.
It's
Well,
not
that's
bad.
not too bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Especially if you can get that winning section done by just playing PvP. That's
Yeah.
so much easier. Let me go ape something for a couple games and
Mhm.
get done with that nonsense.
Or just be okay in Rumble
Or just be okay in Rumble.
for 8 minutes.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
That's probably the easiest way to do it.
Now, if only I could get the meatball to spawn.
Yeah.
This
Keep at it, dude. You'll get it.
alleged
It's guaranteed
50%
of the
spawn
time
chance.
on Curse Week. It's guaranteed.
Gotta play with me, man.
I guess I'm just doing it wrong.
Meat Man?
You know what's weird is that last week when it wasn't full curse week, I saw the Ascendant Servitor a lot more than I've seen it at full curse week. So I'm not sure if there's possibly something still kind of off about that. I'll let you know next Sunday when I play Gambit throughout this week where the curse will reset, but yeah. I saw it a lot more.
I'm pretty sure there's a worldwide conspiracy. Ascendant Primeval Servitor doesn't actually exist. Don't believe it. Don't believe their lies, Mason. Part of the numbers. It doesn't make sense because or maybe my RNG is just really that bad.
Yeah.
I think it might just be that.
It might be that.
I think I'd rather invent a conspiracy about the existence of a servitor than accept that my RNG is really just that bad. Doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
So what else changed this week with the curse?
We saw an old NPC in Mara's throne world this week.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody who got evicted.
Uh-huh.
And her entire game mode got evicted.
Not good enough.
For a season. It's just a chick season.
For a
I'm
season.
sorry, what happened?
Have you been to Mara's throne world?
I have grinded my broadsword and Luna's Howl. I had spent the entire 2 months in Crucible, and then today I spent 6 hours in the Shattered Throne Room or Throne World by myself. I have not done any
He hasn't
milestones
seen it.
whatsoever. No,
he hasn't
I haven't
seen
seen
it.
Queen
Oh,
Mars.
man.
Ooh.
We can't spoil that for him, can we?
Yo,
I mean,
spoil it
he's
for me
on a
'cause I'm not gonna get
podcast.
there anytime soon. You can
Oh,
spoil
okay.
it
He's
for
on
me.
the podcast.
Take it away, Dan.
So, if you do the blind well, if you do the weekly blind well and get your offering, you take that to go to where you would to the temple in order to turn that in for your gear, and the portal opens up, and Marasav is there with Orin, who is
That was a
like,
character in Final Fantasy X. What are you talking about?
okay, no,
That's right.
that's Aron.
He's there.
So
So
like,
What the hell is he
Orin-
doing in the Shattered Throne World?
Oh, you know what he's
Yeah.
doing in Mara's throne world. You know exactly what he's doing.
Orin is a former Awoken who left to go like find her loved one, I think, beyond the sun. I believe that's in the lore, and she came back a ambassador of the Nine, emissary of the Nine for the trials. So
Big blue
You
lady
get to
from
see her
Trials
for a
of
bit.
the Nine.
mm-hmm. She's
Is
much
that the person
smaller
we
this
talked
time.
to 7 times, going to the top of the
Yep.
like all 7
Mhm.
times same person
Your favorite
Mhm.
person.
with the unicorn, and she got the pet unicorn.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
And then,
that's her.
Yeah, she's weird. Yeah, she can stay in the shed. Wait, so what's she doing there? She's chilling.
They're
She was
having a
talking to Mara
conversation.
about something.
They were
Yeah.
chatting.
Are they on the couch together?
No,
One
Because
sitting, one
I-
standing.
I don't think Orin can sit anymore. I
Yeah.
think she can only
What?
float. I
All
think
she
she
can
can
do is
only
float.
float.
Not allowed to sit.
We all float down here.
You'll float too. I got you, Dan. I got you, brother. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So the Emissary of the Nine, if you miss her from Trials of the Nine, the previous in-game Pinnacle game mode, that is back in the oven for right now. Might be returning sometime soon. Who knows? Maybe even in Season 5, which is going to be starting next month. But yeah, that was pretty interesting to see her pop up in this week's Throne World visit to Mara
Yeah.
Sov. And as interesting as that is, what Mara Sov said at the end of your visit is actually super interesting too. Because she
Mhm.
talks about her next guest, and that her next guest doesn't take too kindly to light. So,
The Traveler's Chosen, yeah.
hmm.
It's going to be next full curse is going to be super interesting.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a
Yeah.
pattern, last week or the last full curse, we saw the triangle ships, or they have a name, but I can't remember the name of that shape.
The 3D Doritos.
Sure.
Decahedron or something like
Yeah, that one. And now we have the emissary and whatever this next mysterious person is going to be.
I love that with the Dreaming City and the story here with the curse. I love that it's just been this unrolling narrative where we get to the Dreaming City. We basically start this curse by killing a big dwagon. And then a big dwagon from Dr. Waiwi. But every consecutive week, the story's changing a little bit. Characters are reacting to, reliving the same events over and over again. And every time we visit Mara Sov, it's a different bit of dialogue, whether it's this time with the emissary, last time where, the ships were being modeled in there and all kinds of stuff. I love what Bungie's done with the reuse of content here. And I hope it's a trend moving forward. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they've done a pretty good job with this.
There's a triumph, which I think is bugged, where you get certain points for visiting Mara every time it's a full curse week, and that's a rotation of 7,
Right.
is what it shows. Mine actually completed recently, which is why I think it's bugged. But that typically, or to me, that would mean that we have 4 more weeks of this story unfolding, even
Right.
into Black Armory, which is way interesting.
Yeah. We do know that, thanks to the TWAB this week, we do know that Season 4 is rapidly coming to a close. It'll be ending this month on the 27th, actually a little bit earlier than I would have thought. And that date, the 27th, as I recall, is a Tuesday, and it's gonna be a curse week. So,
Hold on to your butts.
hold on to your butts, everybody. Probably gonna have like maybe a week or so in between the end of Season 4 and the beginning of Season 5. But
Mhm.
with Black Armory right around the corner, man, something's primed to happen.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the amazing thing. We haven't heard anything from Bungie yet.
Not a thing.
And if anybody has been paying attention to Reddit and specifically user Anon the 9, this past week I had very little to do at work, so I basically went through all of his comments, like way back from August when he reset his account, basically,
Mhm.
or their account. And man, they were giving out some interesting knowledge that we saw come to fruition.
Yep.
In Forsaken and up till now. But he also said that like they would be revealing Black Armory in a way that we hadn't seen from Bungie or from Destiny before.
Right.
So do you guys think that they'll wait a week in between the 27th, or do you think that they'll just go wham? It's all here. Like, this is Black Armory for those of you who paid for it.
I think that since it's going to be a full curse week, they're probably going to drop some kind of trailer when that becomes when whoever the next guest shows up in Mara's Throne World.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's something that we haven't seen in Bungie do in a while is tie in their future content and like tease it before it comes out. You know how like way back in D1 we had like the Blades of Crota and then the
Dark
Ether
Below.
Keys and stuff like that, like those little mini events before the DLC. Maybe they're something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because, like, with the Dark Below, didn't that trailer just drop in game without any sort of, like, outside advertising? Didn't that start the advertising period for Dark Below? Like, you just
it just popped up in the director.
The trailer was there. Everybody watched. It's like, what's going on the moon? And then they started their advertising period for Dark Below.
Yeah, you got that weird commercial with Pete Davidson as
Yeah.
as the hunter.
Yeah. I would imagine something like that could possibly happen. 27th rolls around, season 4 comes to a close, a trailer or something pops up on the directory, or maybe like we've been saying here, you go to visit Mara that week, and maybe the trailer happens then when you visit her.
Yeah.
Which would actually kind of be brilliant because it would force Bungie, or it would force people to play the game if they wanted to see the trailer, at least before all of 5 minutes before everybody gets it up on YouTube. But that'd be a really interesting way to start that advertising period off, and then maybe we have a week in between, because we do know Black Armory is billed for December rather than November. So maybe have a week in between those seasons, and then the first week of December, Black Armory drops. I think that'd be a really interesting way to start their DLC, by beginning the advertising period just with an event in-game.
My question is, with Activision's comments about revenue and sales and Destiny 2 performance, would Bungie allow Black Armory to reveal itself in that manner, or are they going to try to get the hype built and people? I've already bought the season pass for year 2. Warmind brought me back. I am back. I'm fully invested. I am spending a lot of time acquiring a lot of long quest items, like the broadsword, like the Luna's Howl, like maybe the Not Forgotten, soloing the Throne Room. Like, there's things in this game now that I don't want to play anything else at the current moment because I'm committed to these tasks. So is Activision going to let Bungie just drop a DLC on us? I don't see them doing that. I can't imagine. Or is Bungie just being like, you know what, Activision, this is really our show. Sorry, pals.
So, from what I interpreted of the Activision call, or what like I've heard extrapolated, is that Activision isn't satisfied with the performance of Bungie bringing in new folks with Forsaken. If I remember correctly, that it sold well.
Yeah, there was a sentence in there that they said that a lot of the player base was still like in wait and see mode. I think that's what you're referring to. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not bringing anybody new. It's just basically keeping a baseline of of people like us, people who would have like podcasts or whatever, or like make content for it, or love this game as a hobby that they play with their friends.
Yeah.
Right.
They've already got us. They've already hooked us in the cheek, and they're reeling us in every 3 months. And like that's fine. Like that's guaranteed money for that. But like, yeah, the especially with like them giving, I think we could have seen this from what they did in September with giving for like the base game away for free on PlayStation, and now giving the base game away for free on PC, alongside the announcement from BlizzCon. Like they're trying to get new people in, and from what I'm seeing when I stream on here and on my own channel, there are people who just started who are asking questions again. So like that's exciting, but how much are they going to be like reeled into it?
And if I'm not mistaken, Forsaken and like the annual pass bundled together is at a certain percentage off as well.
Yeah, I think it's like 35%. Don't like
something
absolutely
like that.
quote me.
It's like around 50-ish for both.
I think it's like, when I saw it was like $54 or something. For
Yeah.
Forsaken, which now includes prior
The
DLC.
previous
for
two
Cyrus
DLC.
Online. Yeah.
I think that might be right. Yeah.
But
yeah,
like I'm gonna go back to when Destiny 2 first launched, and all of the PC people from all the other directories on Twitch that came over, whether you like this or not, by the way, comment section, I don't care. The big time broadcasters from other games came into our directory and played Destiny 2, and they thought it sucked, and they walked away, and they never touched it again. And when you've got thousands and thousands of viewers who take your word that a game sucks, you're not going to touch it either. That was the chance that Destiny really had at that point to bring in a new player base, a massive new player base, versus maintaining the majority of players who played on console. I don't know. I think I've met like maybe 50 people who didn't play Destiny 1 who are playing it now.
Yeah.
Maybe. So for Activision to be upset when you're giving Bungie these launch times where Destiny 1 was clearly, I don't care what anybody says, wasn't a finished game at launch.
Yeah,
Right.
Look at the mod
definitely
system, and I'll tell you blatantly, when there's one kinetic mod, period, ever, the game isn't finished. So Activision's out here saying you got to launch by this date. Bungie's saying we're not done yet. We're going to ship a half-done game. Bungie made the mistake of making it a dual primary weapon system. Now you've got a brand new player base that doesn't care to play your game. Now you're going to try and reel them back in. I think that you're not going to see that happen until maybe Destiny 3.
Possible.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Depending on what comes in the next few months, though, and like if they really like Forsaken wowed a lot of people for the brand, if they like roll out some more stuff in the, like with this annual pass that really wows some people, I don't know. Like the refer friend thing too. I don't know. I feel like there's still hope yet, just not as much as like an initial release.
Yeah, you know,
I don't think you're going to see a massive onboarding. I don't think you're going to see this massive waterfall onboarding of players. And to a degree, when they talk about revenue and numbers, people who bought the Destiny 2 Year 1 Season Pass, Bungie doesn't, and Activision don't feel that financial hit until now, when people aren't renewing their annual pass for Year 2. That's where that big drop off occurs. That's where people are like, no, I've been burned. Osiris is the worst DLC maybe in video game history. I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to go play the plethora of 20 other really quality video games that are out there right now. So again, it's almost like an ACL injury in sports, where it's like it takes a year to recover from the injury, and it takes a year to get back into game shape. Like I feel like that's the trend we're going to see with Bungie and with Destiny 2 right now. And Activision saying something a year later, like, what are you actually doing? What are you trying to say? It's like, I'd be upfront being like, hey guys, we made a mistake. Base game's free forever. Anybody can play the base game on any platform at all. Anything else is going to be paid for until maybe Destiny 2 Year 3. Then Forsaken becomes free. And does that make sense?
Yeah. I saw Jay Sniperton post something along those lines, and I was like, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Give the base game for free at this point. What do you have to lose? You get more people trying it out. Like, why?
That injection of new players there.
Yeah.
I think this has been an important topic, but it's important to separate a couple of things here from with the information that we learned from the earnings report. One, that is not a representation of quality. That is completely separate from the quality of the game. And two, you guys make a really good point about things here. A lot of this has to do with not just initial sales. Remember, Destiny 2 sold pretty well initially. In
Top
its,
3 in
its launch month.
2017.
Shoot, even Forsaken, Destiny 2 was the #1 most sold console game for all of September. The numbers show that something like 60% of all active console accounts own Forsaken. 60% of all Xbox One and PS4 accounts own Destiny 2 and Forsaken.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a ludicrous number of people. That is a ludicrous number of active accounts. The problem is, a lot of those were individuals, like you guys said, who bought the game when it first came out and then didn't come back. A lot of people who bought Destiny 2 when it first dropped were disappointed with that initial release, as they should have been, and then didn't come back, or came back for Curse of Osiris and got Orid, and decided this is not worth my time and effort, and did not come back. And a part of this is it's not just initial game sales that were talked about in the Activision earnings report. Remember, gaming has changed. Nim will appreciate that. Activision these days, especially if I listen to these earnings reports calls. I own stock in Activision. Do I have to? I don't have to tell you people that.
No, it did take a dip though. So if you get a chance, pick it up.
My money. But these earnings reports calls are about a lot more than just base game sales. A lot of them are about the huge booming market of microtransactions, post-release sales. And that's a place where Bungie is absolutely underperforming right now. We all make memes about Eververse and the predatory practices that are there with microtransaction systems here. But that's a huge part of the earnings of a video game. Think about something like Fortnite, a free-to-play game that makes all of its money off of microtransactions. Think about Warframe, free-to-play game makes all of its money off of microtransactions. And even when it comes to AAA titles like Call of Duty, a lot of money. Look at the earnings reports calls from last year, the year before for like Black Ops 3. They made a ludicrous amount of money off of microtransactions. And that's an area where Destiny 2 right now is massively underperforming. And whether we like that or not, investors don't care. They don't care about the quality of a game. They don't want the game to be bad, but they don't really care about the quality of a game. They want to know how much money it's making. And right now, Destiny, I wouldn't exactly say it's sold poorly. We just went over some of the numbers there. But it's not making all of the money. And that was
the return on investment.
That was a huge part of the earnings reports call. Was that, which is why they specifically spoke about microtransactions and what they were going to be doing to bump up those sales. We actually have a link to it. I think we put it in chat a little bit ago. If you want to go and read the information from the earnings report, probably going to be seeing a bit more Eververse stuff in the future, or a complete revamp of that to focus more on microtransaction money.
See, because like one of the things, and I can't speak for Fortnite because I don't play for Fortnite, but I can speak for Warframe because I played a lot of Warframe. Is the connection that the developers have with their community. If Tenogen alone rakes in a lot of money. For those that don't know, if you're not familiar with Warframe, Tenogen, what it is the developers allow you to buy I think it's a toolkit, a dev toolkit, where you're given access to the base frames, weapons, and whatever. And if if you're really good with sculpting and 3D making and stuff like that, you can create skins, helmets, different versions of like the Warframes, and you can get that approved, or you can submit it to get approved. It gets voted on by the community, and then that gets put into in-game, and other people can buy what another person made. And that right there, like, that's such a big income for Digital Extremes, because they're always putting out new Tenogen bundles, and they're amazing. Like, some of the stuff that people do look 10 times better than what originally came within the game.
Yeah, that's true.
And if honestly, I doubt it'll ever happen, but if Bungie or Activision would embrace that part of microtransactions, putting a toolkit out there for artists to make ornaments and put that in Eververse. Like some of the stuff that I've seen people like post like on Instagram and stuff like that of like, you know, their depictions of like, you know, ghosts and like I'm sure you guys have seen like you know, the little shrieker ghost or the servitor ghost that has been flying around. Yeah, that's been flying around for years now. Like if Bungie were to take that and put that in Eververse, I would gladly put money down on Eververse for something like that. But like it's like I don't know the stuff like, for example, and this is one of the topics that we have in our list today, the temporal surge. You know, the temporal surge is basically, you know, all of a bunch or a select bunch of the year one emotes that you can't access anymore. You can buy them for a certain amount of silver. And for example, the exotic emotes are $10. $10 for an exotic emote that existed in year one. Now, if you compare that to like a skin that you can buy in Warframe for a weapon or a Warframe or something, it's like $5 to $6 for a skin. Like that's silly. Like that can, like, I don't know. I just feel like that's a big area that Bungie and Activision are just missing out on.
I think there's two things. One, the way the Eververse is set up is just kind of sloppy, clunky. They call it the Eververse. What does that even? That doesn't translate to like store for me. I don't. That's just an NPC in the game. I don't translate it to. It just doesn't. What does it even mean? Anyway, it's like it's sloppy, and they're not really. They don't offer very many things of quality. They give you a lot of it for free by ranking up your character in game. When I played a lot of Fortnite before Warmind brought me back. And I don't remember, like, you bought a battle pass for like $10 or whatever. I forget what each individual thing costs, but I don't think there were loot crates like there is in Overwatch. I don't even know if you can buy loot crates in Overwatch, but I think with Fortnite you can handpick what you purchase. I don't know if that works the same way for Warframe, but when you say skins, to me that would be more shaders or designing armor than it would be emotes or whatnot. Because we don't know if you start to get into copyright infringement. Like if I start getting people's like touchdown dances off the NFL, am I infringing on certain copyrights or whatever? Do they
or all of a
trademark
sudden
that
you have an
move?
LA
Like,
Lakers?
Yeah, like is Des Bryant's like X that he does, is that like his trademark thing? Am I going to get sued by him if I go and I make this into the game or whatnot? So it's like, what can Bungie do within the game to drive actual I just don't know if it's a game that is good for microtransactions, period. Like,
I mean,
do you care about emotes in the game? Like, I blow kisses to people. My favorite emote, Nem, you might appreciate this, is the wave. When I fusion rifle somebody and they're going off into space, I just wave goodbye to them. I don't do anything else. It was the original first emote you ever got in the game in D1, and that's my favorite one because it's so cocky to just wave goodbye to people. So like, I'm not out there trying to I don't give a shit about half these things that Bungie would offer as a transaction. And quite frankly, I give Bungie, in my opinion, enough money as is. Not really chomp at the bit to give them more. Fortnite is a free game. They put off in an awful lot of work with updates every week, whether people like them or not. It's a different story. But updates every week. They have a completely evolving ecosystem within the game. Every single week, something's changing. It's the Dreaming City and the Curse on steroids is what and they can, because it's a smaller one map PvP battle royale game. Bungie's much more complex.
I mean, for example, let's just hypothetically, there's the ornaments for weapons and for armor and stuff like that. There's been a lot of artists in the Destiny community. What are they called? DCA, Destiny Community Artists. That the Bumpus or Plain Ben. Like they've made amazing like designs and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't care about emotes. Emotes come naturally if you play the game. Like just
they do.
Level up that bar and you'll get your I think at this point I have like most, if not all, of the emotes simply by playing the game. But if I were given the choice of like, hey, you know what? Brian Munkus made an ornament for Malfeasance,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks dope as shit, and I want it. Let me go buy it. You
Yeah.
know, like there's plenty of opportunity. As far as armor wise, that's separate because I mean in Warframe it's like a base character, and with there you can just kind of like change their color and stuff like that. But you know, with Tenogen, people completely sculpt the base Warframe differently. But I think you know, with Destiny, ornament is where it would fall under. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more microtransactions in the future, whether if
Let
it's
me
going to
say
be in
this.
Destiny 2 or Destiny 3.
If I'm Activision and I'm Bungie, I'm trying to drive revenue outside of game sales, I'm doing it outside of the video game because people have such a connection to the Guardians, to the characters, to the weapons, to the. I'm selling figurines, keychains, jackets, shirts, and I'm not doing it at $120 for leggings. I'm doing it at a price point that is reasonable to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where it just in my own brain swag, and I think you've seen a little bit of it with some of these. I don't know if it's a medallion or what. If you get like a title, you can buy that specific.
Yeah.
You know, we saw it
Like
with the
a little
jackets
mini
for the
Luna.
first clear through the last wish raid. If I'm Bungie, I feel, and I'm Activision, I feel like there's much more success to be had on that side of thing. But then you bring up a pretty cool point with exotics and ornaments for those kinds of things. I think, but how many of those could you do? If you've got a limited of 63 off the top of my head, exotics.
Yeah.
You've got 63. I mean, you could do different ones for each one, but like you're still working with like a limited
Selection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well.
Go ahead, Dan.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's definitely a difficult situation to be in, especially for Bungie. I feel super bad for them because they've taken a lot of steps towards driving people away from spending real money on the Eververse store. They've taken solid steps towards that because of the backlash they've gotten before. Like Nim said, you can earn most everything that the Eververse has for sale right now just by playing the game. The Bright Dust sources have been greatly expanded upon. You can just go sharding shaders and stuff and ships that you don't want or need anymore and get what you need to either directly purchase things from Eververse, or you can just continue playing the game to get stuff like that. And I applaud them for that. And this is really kind of crazy. It's just a part of the gaming world today that I really kind of hate. I remember the earnings report from 2016, and I saw somebody in chat talking about this. It jogged my memory of it. Call of Duty and like half of Bungie and Activision's like income came from microtransactions, or rather Activision and Blizzard. Half of their income came from microtransactions. This year, when Black Ops 4 dropped, Black Ops 4 was ludicrously successful. It made like something like $500 million within the first couple of days. They also expressed disappointment with Black Ops 4's income during this earnings report call. Why? Because it's not a matter of game sales. These games are selling great. It's a matter of microtransactions. These companies, they've gotten so used to the extra money that they can get via microtransactions over the life of a game that it's raised the bar. It's moved the Overton window on the amount of money that these companies are expecting so far that it's gotten really ridiculous. It's gotten to the point where they're going to look at a game that sells well, that, like I said before, 60% of all console accounts own at least the base game of D2, and they're going to say, that's not enough because Eververse isn't making, $100 million a month. And if you're Bungie, what do you do with that? What do you do when you're producer, when the people who are the money behind your game, especially now that they've acquired King, and that was talked about in the Activision earnings report, and King made something like $242 million on just mobile microtransactions and nonsense like that. And then they've got that other Chinese company that just invested invested $100 million into the company for mobile games and stuff like that. That's got to be a lot of pressure on Bungie right now.
It is.
That's got to be a lot of pressure for them to continue making money outside of game sales. I believe that's one of the reasons for why we got this annual pass, and it's one of the reasons why they've changed their content release schedule so that it's these $10 passes, or these $10 content bits that are coming in $30 passes throughout the life of D2. I have no idea what they're supposed to do with microtransactions to make up for that.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Oh, no, what I was gonna say a bit earlier was like, but you also have it's not just on Bungie's end, right? It's on our end too, a little bit, because our minds have turned now to be like, well, we've already given them enough money. Like
Right.
you've already developed the game that I love to play, and I don't want to give you any more money. Just give me everything for free.
They don't offer anything that I want to buy. There's nothing
Right.
offered in the Eververse that I'm like, I can't
Sure.
live without this. And I
So-
feel like with Fortnite and maybe Warframe, there's items in these. Even Overwatch, dude, I've got community members who are like, I have spent enough money to be yelled at by my significant other on
Mhm.
loot crates in Overwatch, and I don't even know why. There's a you can create demand via supply, and I just don't think the Eververse is.
It's
It
not-
doesn't.
it's
It
not-
doesn't give it.
But with that being said, there are people that argued with me on Tuesday when this was announced, when this temporal surge was announced. I was like,
Mhm.
this seems fair. It's all cosmetic. Maybe the price point could be lower for the exotic emotes and whatever. And
Think about it.
I'm-
The price point for the exotic emote is the same as Black Armory.
It's- oh my god.
$10.
So like the price point could definitely come down. Imagine this being used for things like ghosts and sparrows and ships down the line. Imagine that price point is across the board $10 for a ship for a ghost.
Not
There's-
paying it.
No, you're not paying it because
And
the
it-
price
$10
point
is too
is way
much.
too high. Yeah,
And
it's too much for that thing, man. And
And
so
it-
like the people that were arguing this were people that didn't play they didn't take the opportunity to play the previous two expansions because they felt they were wronged by Bungie in the first place. And they're like, well, why should I buy it when it was available for free and I could have easily gotten it? It was like a whole cycle of, I'm going to say, and this will upset some people probably, I'm going to say entitlement, but
Mhm.
also
Yeah.
opportunity cost. And these things, both sides have to kind of meet in the middle as to what we want to purchase. And right now, what we want to purchase is games. We want to purchase more content that we can play for Destiny. And that
Yeah.
right now is an outdated model, it feels like.
According to Activision.
And
Yeah.
like even for example, let's say it's it's the way that, as Aura said, that the Eververse is so poorly structured, is like, even if there is something that you want from the Eververse store, for it's like a ship or something, and you can't, it's not on the selection to buy it with the Bright Dust, then you would have to spend $5 or $10 to get a chance at getting them through the engrams. Like, it's still not something that you have a choice
Right.
on. And I think, I don't know, I think Destiny is such a weird game in the sense that it's a hybrid of multiple games, and it's like it wants to be a game that has a format of a subscription based game, but
Yeah.
but it's not. It's sold as a like a standalone $60 game,
Right.
with expansions. Because for example, like, you compare it to like World of Warcraft or something like that. It's like you pay your monthly fee, the content is just going to continuously come in as long as you're paying your $15 a month, or
Yeah.
whatever price it is. But it's, again, Destiny is just in such a weird bubble because it's a hybrid. How do you like balance microtransactions
Yeah.
in that? What Destiny is,
What
And
mistakes is Bungie not going to avoid moving forward with microtransactions? We know we're going to see more of them. I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with that. You
I
can
don't
offer
either.
me as many different things as you want. I am never going to feel as if I have to purchase it. So they can give me a storefront with 1 billion items in it, and I'm not going to complain, be like, "Oh, they're so greedy, dude. They wouldn't run a business." Oh my god! Like, I'm never going to be that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
So what mistakes are they going to avoid? What are they not going to do?
Not going to sell
Man.
a Yellerhorn.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that.
Yeah, weapons.
Well,
I think
Bizarre sold it. Nobody bought it. So you think anybody buy it now?
Hey, come here, see, I got this Yellerhorn for $10, kid. No. Yeah, and that's part of the problem. Again, like I said, I feel kind of bad for Bungie because they did push us away from the microtransactions with Eververse, and like this is their reward for doing it. They get berated
Yeah.
by Activision and told, figure out how to get those kids spending money in your store. But
Yeah.
I'm right there with you, Aura. I'm somebody who doesn't have a problem with microtransactions. Nobody's twisting my arm to buy a specific thing. And for the most part, I've only spent actual money in Eververse once in D2. And it was for the Iron Banner, raise the banner emote. Because I thought that was cool. And I knew nobody else would have it. And guess what? All these months later, I was right. I'm the only one with it. Just me. Which is why I didn't freak out when I saw this whole temporal surge. I think it was handled probably pretty poorly. I like that you can go in and specifically buy some of those emotes that were, present back in previous seasons, but I don't know why they would only make it silver and not bright dust and, such ludicrous cost for that. But I guess this is why, because Activision is breathing down their necks. But I agree when we say that, microtransactions don't have to necessarily be a bad thing for Destiny if they were offering something that was worth the money. But really, what could that be here within the world of Destiny? Because clearly they want it to be in-game stuff.
Yeah.
They want it to be in-game. Oh, does Pope Bear actually have that emote? Yeah, my brother. There's two of us. See? There's literally twos of us out there in the world with that emote. But I don't really know what they could do. Certainly, I guess maybe they could have, like Nim was saying, community armor and whatnot that they could put into the store.
Yeah.
Maybe they could add in new armor sets and whatnot that are available via microtransactions, new effects and whatnot. But I don't really see that as being something that I would want to spend money on.
Right.
My character is the most mismatched gauntlet shader. My character is hideous. And people in the Crucible probably have no idea what the hell I'm doing or why my character looks that way. Armor sets in the Eververse are not going to make me want to make a purchase. I just don't know. And when it comes to Destiny related, like we don't have pickaxes and we don't have skins and we don't have like gliders to fly out into our battle royale environment. Like nothing that any of these other games offer is a good fit for that I can see for what Bungie does. So again, I go back, like, what are they not going to do? I don't think they're going to make weapons, right? They're not going to sell a weapon that's primarily only available through buying it with money. I can't imagine they would do that.
Yeah.
Are they going to give you XP bonuses? Do they already do that? Don't
they already do that? That's already in the game.
Fire team medallions and better chances at weapon and armor drops or whatnot. I'm already deleting things at a good clip right now. I don't need more gear. Give me one more steel Sybil or whatever the hell that damn Crucible sword is. I swear to God, I'm going to bring the entire stack to Bungie's front door. Just don't ever give me these again. You guys can have them all back. I don't need them. Thank you. Like, I just...
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to come up with something that will incentivize using silver for in the Eververse store as of right now, because I mean, even with the introduction of collections, because I was thinking like some type of exotic shader, but it's still going to be a one-time thing because you buy the shader and then it goes to your collection. Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of intrinsic value to the content that they're bringing there that would make people want to spend extra money on it. And I don't know, like I'm going through my head trying to think of things right now. So I can only imagine what Bungie's doing.
Yeah. Unless in whatever iteration of Destiny we're going to see in the future, whatever next sequel, unless they fundamentally change the game, like in terms of like if you're in open world, you can have like a pet with you, or for example, some kind of mount or whatever, and they introduce different pets and mounts and stuff like that through a microtransaction like store. That's the only different thing that I can imagine.
What about
at least right now?
What if they offered weapons you could only get through quest, or like Festival of the Lost with the horror story? What if they brought the horror story back and you could buy it for $10? What if they brought back Chatterwhite and Glowhoo?
See, that I was going to go there. I was going to say, Nim, what if they brought back like certain year one armor sets and like
but you're still bleeding from the pool that played that game. And if you're trying to bring new players over, no one knows what the hell Chatterwhite even is, which by the way is my favorite shader in the world. Chatterwhite for the win. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas against the wall here.
What about this? New playable race in the Bungie store. Tiger people.
Khajiit,
yeah. As wares if you have coin.
As long as it's not an entirely new subclass and like a decay subclass with damage over time abilities, like I'm
That would be
fine
dangerous
to do
because they have to stay away from selling power, which is why
Yeah.
I could never see them selling weapons. I could see them selling armor because, armor can just drop at 10,
They already do that.
enlighten. They already do that. That doesn't really
Mhm.
change the overall power of a guardian. Weapons, that's a little dangerous. I could see them selling a class, like maybe if we finally got Fallen, playable Fallen, but you got to pay $10 to get access to that. That's something that MMOs do all the time.
Moon would literally lose her shit if they ever made Fallen a playable class.
I like honestly, if the horror story was $10, it would cost me less money in time to just buy it for $10 than the hours of having to play the fucking haunted forest to get it.
Yeah.
If it was a good enough weapon, I don't think I'd have an issue with that. 120 souls, nah, dude, I'm good.
Yeah. As
Yeah.
long as there was an in-game option to earn it, like without paying any shmoney, I think that would that would possibly work. But
Yeah.
it's not an
It's
easy
insane.
not an easy question to answer, man, about how they further monetize this game outside of annual pass sales. It's
Yeah.
not an easy question to answer at all, and I don't know. I join a lot of people who were a bit concerned once this report came out and saw that Activision's going to be pushing for more monetization of microtransactions and whatnot. I wonder what that's going to mean for the future.
I wonder what the sales of the annual pass are right now. Like,
One at least,
Because-
because I bought it.
I bought it. I've purchased it as well, at least on PlayStation. The plan is to get it on PC as well.
So it's at least 4. Then maybe
Yeah.
even 5 if you buy it on 2 different platforms.
We got
But-
at least 4.
But it's,
I think I bought it on
like-
PlayStation too.
I feel like that's a really smart way for them to continue getting, at least developing, getting cash for
Yeah.
development,
Mhm.
If this were like a monthly pass game, how do you value your time? How do you value the investment
Yeah.
across the player base?
Yeah, there's not enough content there for a monthly pass. When I think of a monthly
Yeah.
pass, I'm playing something like Final Fantasy XIV, which has a
Right.
ludicrous amount of content and new patches that are chock full of entirely new campaigns and stuff added every like half a year. It's one of the reasons why I've kind of warmed up to the annual pass, because this is how they're funding additional content coming to the game. Whereas before we were getting the big DLC, the major expansion. This $10, every 3 or 4 months sort of thing for a new
For
infusion
guarantee?
of content. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be how they move things forward, because I can't figure out how to make microtransactions worthwhile in Destiny. But you know what I can think of? Well, we'll bring back SRL, but you got to pay a $5 pass to get access to it forever. We'll bring back some new horde mode or whatnot, but they've got to charge some amount of money for it. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only kind of content that I would pay money for.
And we've
Actual
talked about this
content.
in the past, like old raids, bringing old raids to D2.
I already paid for that.
Right, you did.
Already been
But it's not
done
going to
paid
look
for
as
that.
good as if it were in D2 right now.
It's not going to be in
And
60 FPS, Aura.
SRL, I could have sworn there were statements made where they poured a lot of money, time, and resources into the development of it, and it was pretty much an empty lobby outside of a few events. It was mostly, and I guess when it was even tied to the chaperone, really, it kind of fell by the wayside, wasn't really enjoyed, wasn't really played that much, and I could have sworn that there were comments being like, we're probably not going to be doing that again because the player base
No,
just
they're
didn't
Yeah.
play it enough. Whether it was private matches or publicly matched items, there was just not a lot of people doing it. I myself only took part in it because of the charity event that I was involved in. I didn't really do it that much. I got my chaperone the hard way, chat. So it's like I don't know. I don't know if like a lot of people say they want SRL, and then I feel like it's going to get here, and people be like, "Okay, I'm just going to go
Cool.
over here now."
Really,
Here's
yeah,
the
they're
thing.
playing like once or
Hey,
twice,
thanks.
and that's
Yeah,
it.
But here's the
Thanks for
thing.
that, Scream.
Festival
If people
lock.
pay for it, doesn't matter. They've made more money off of SRL than they did with it back in D1, which is my point there. That I can't think of any meaningful microtransactions that I would really want to spend any big amount of money on. But
Yeah.
content,
Matt,
actual content,
Yeah.
I'll drop money on that
mask
any day of the week.
packs.
Yeah.
Festival, man, fuck. Oh, weird. I was gonna say mask packs for Festival of the Lost, But we've already been down this road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sold the cost.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Again, Destiny is just in that weird gray area where it's just a hybrid of a bunch of things, and it can't really fall under one or the other. So the microtransactions really can't flourish with what it is.
Can they pump out the content enough to make it where we could justify $10 or more dollars a month? Like
Like a
Bungie's-
subscription.
What I mean, when they, especially with the way that Forsaken has been going, when the content hits, it's really good.
It's
Even
pretty good.
Festival of the Lost was really good. Maybe this
And it
exotic
lasts.
Thunderlord not so much, but
right.
One more week. More.
For the love of God.
That we know of.
Oh boy.
And on the 9, may your information be true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
they
like,
have the manpower to create story modes and lore within the game to go and explore. Can we go back into the Vault of Glass from way back when people got lost in there the first time? Do we go into the pit with Eris and her crew only to see? Can we, like, what would you do to go into Crota's End and lose to experience that?
That'd be interesting.
Would that be pretty cool? Like,
That'd be
guaranteed
cool.
you can't win it. It's kind of like Mason, spoiler alert for Call of Duty, whatever the hell it was, when the news
Black
goes
Ops.
off and you die, whichever one that was 10 years ago. Spoiler alert, guys. But it's like, I feel like that would be something I would invest in heavily. If I could even go back and be part of that legendary raid team, be one of those guardians for that moment in time. Maybe I could go back and be Saint 14 for a minute and just
Like
slay
the Vex. Wouldn't that
Vex
be a great horde?
to
Like
the
horde
bodies
mode?
of
Yeah.
dude. I'm telling you, if I was like, I feel like maybe that, I don't know, but do you make that a monthly thing? How do you go about mitigating that in a way that satisfies the consumer and the business model at the same
Mhm.
time? Like, for me, you know what, dude? If they just gave us a bathroom, I'd pay $5 for a bathroom.
The Guardian
Use
latrine.
the
There you
restroom,
go.
take a shower. I'd be fine with that.
See,
Yeah, I don't
there
know.
you go, content.
It's never going away.
Yeah, I feel like in order to justify some kind of subscription based model for Destiny, yeah, there has to be a lot of content. How
Gotta be a
Laura
lot
said
more.
it, and like, yeah, it has to be at least double or triple of what we currently have, and raids would probably have to be like WoW status of raids, where it takes people like a week or something to
Right.
finish to get like one drop.
a chance at one drop, by the way.
You
As a
thought
chance at
24
one.
hours was bad.
Their
Yeah.
players are too good right now with this game and the way it's set up for that to happen. When you've got people like Glad, Chevy, Redeemed, and all these other Carolina Gamer, Golden Riches, when you got players of this caliber, that kind of environment, I don't think is gonna happen unless you make the raid literally 40 bosses. Like, that's the only way you're
Yeah.
gonna slow these guys down, is if you just throw wall after wall after wall in front of them, or a power level gap that's going to take you
A long time.
a week to get to the next level where you can go in and the enemies aren't immune. I just don't. I feel like players are too good at this game for that to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's again, it's a
tough.
weird
That's
it's a weird
discontent.
area.
I definitely don't think a subscription-based model would work for Destiny. There's
No.
not
No.
enough content here right now to justify that sort of thing.
No.
And like I said, you can just compare it to other subscription-based games like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14. It's just not equitable at all.
Yeah.
But I guess we're just gonna have to figure or find out whatever it is that they figure
Wait
out.
and see.
We know it's coming now. Big Daddy Activision is his wallet's feeling a little light right now. He's looking
Yeah.
for he's looking for a little bit more of that microtransaction money, and I feel pretty bad for Bungie in that regard because
Yeah, I don't envy them at all.
don't envy him, not even a little bit.
I do. I think it'd be pretty cool to be a part of that. And just the four of us together came up with what I could see you could mold into pretty good ideas. Now, Bungie's not allowed to use anything that they hear on the outside in what they develop on, but I think it'd be kind of cool. I would appreciate a challenge. I don't know if I'd appreciate it no matter which Activision would present it, but I think it'd be. I'm kind of envious of the people who work at Bungie. I'd be down with that. Oh, okay, Dan, what happened?
I forgot Man at Arms earlier today in my chat. He was like, voice packs for ghosts.
Yeah, I'd pay for that. I'd pay, give me
Like,
Peter
why
Give me
Dinklage back.
Dinklage.
be my ghost for like a for.
Imagine
$5
having
easy.
Mel Brooks as your ghost.
Does he still do?
What are you gonna have to pay the people to record the voiceover?
I don't know.
Oh, that Bungie can figure that out. They pay people to do,
Yeah, exactly.
mocapping.
perfect
They can
world.
figure that out. Oh man, yeah, I'd love voice packs. That'd be great, especially if they got Peter Dinklage back. I want my Dinklebot.
I want the Three
Mm,
I
Stooges
do
to be my
too.
ghost because I feel like that's just who I am within the game.
That might be outside of Bungie's.
Why Yoda?
Outside of their pricing structure. I don't know if they have enough money to bring back the dead. That might need to take a loan from the Traveler there, but
They'll just get the ones from the movie.
oh, there you go. Just grab
Like
some,
a couple years ago.
some rips. Yeah, I think voice packs would be cool. I think voice packs for Ghosts would be pretty neat. Or for like Nerf Thigh is saying in chat, PvP, somebody to do Shax's lines.
Mm-hmm.
You get Shax to voice a ghost.
I wonder what that would cost in the back end to actually have the programming in place to do it too. Like, how much space do they actually have to put voice packs in for every voiceover?
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to what Nem said. There's so many places, like
A
for
lot of
where that would
dialogue.
fit. I'm not sure that would.
Yeah, that
happen.
would have to be something for future content. That wouldn't be retroactive like when they got Nolan North to redub Peter Dinklage's lines. That's a little bit too much of a backlog there.
Yeah.
But certainly interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've talked enough about microtransactions and the state of big fat stacks of cash in Destiny 2. What else do we have to talk about?
We have the TWAB. We have a couple of Bungie streams coming up here in the next week.
Right, we've got a Bungie bounty, I think, this
Mhm.
week, right?
Yep, on the 12th. We have at 10 a.m. PST on the Xbox One platform a Bungie bounty for Gambit.
Ooh.
That will be streamed. And then on the 19th, which is the one that I'm really excited about,
Yeah.
the Bungie Last Wish Raid Along. Monday, November 19th, 2018, 10 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/Bungie.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
See some Bungie devs go through the Last Wish raid. And anytime they do this, they take some time to talk about like the different encounters, the world space, what their inspirations and whatnot were for that. So hopefully we get some of those insights when that stream happens. Should be fun.
So does it say who is the bounty just Bungie themselves for Gambit?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
there's not going to be a content creator, whether it's a YouTuber or whoever, along with that. It's just.
I don't know if they announced somebody who is going to be tied to it. Well, let's be real. Who is going to be carrying this time around?
I guess the same
man.
thing for the raid, right? It doesn't name any content creators who might be.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I'm asking is because you're used to
Usually
seeing
get
that.
one. Yeah. Still interesting. Going to be neat to see Bungie streaming within the next week or so. We've also got Iron Banner coming back this week, right?
Iron Lagger.
Got to get the rest of those season 4 triumphs, brother.
Do you?
I'm not going to touch Iron Banner with a 10-foot pole.
don't
Until
blame
they
you
get
at
that
all.
game mode to actually function appropriately, I'm not going to get involved in it. I already have enough with people bouncing all. I play enough comp and quick play to see people who already have a bad connection. I don't need a bad connection on top of a damage calculator that doesn't work to be doing its thing. Sorry, Bungie. Iron Banner hasn't been good since it
Ever.
was first introduced. It's been bad for a long time.
Little bit. But yeah, that's good.
I just don't like the armor for it.
It's not great, and it's a little weird that we don't have like any ornaments or anything for it. Maybe that'll
I'm
change
assuming
this
we'll
year.
probably see that soon. Yeah.
Might
I
change.
just I'm not really feeling the armor for this season. So there's really
Yeah.
no
Oh, the
incentive.
pants. The pants on Hunter, man. I don't know what that's all about.
The bottom half of the Warlock's robes, there's parts of it that just don't shade, and then you just have this awful terracotta color that
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
doesn't
questionable.
change. Please, it's so annoying.
This is actually kind of interesting because we've had themes with Iron Banner armor, between the games. In D1, it was very night focused, especially when Rise of Iron came out.
Yeah.
In D2, we've got a very Eastern theme to armor. Let's say that Season 5 introduces a brand new armor set for Iron Banner. Are there any types of worldly themes you guys would like to see represented there?
I don't know, man.
Medieval.
Like,
Go back to like medieval knight style?
I feel like that would be pretty neat, but and like when are they going to put something in as a reward pool that is worth going for? The what was it called? The dragon, the pulse rifle in D1.
The Clever Dragon?
Yeah.
That was one of the rewards that everybody really wanted. The fusion rifle is actually wasn't bad in Destiny 2 year
Yeah,
one.
it wasn't
Was
bad at
actually
all.
a really good weapon.
why is it
When are they
very
going to
big?
put something in play that's like worth going through this? Power
Yeah.
level matters. So, and
I thought Claw of the Wolf was pretty worth it, but it was just like
Yeah.
a one and done kind of a deal for me.
Yeah. I haven't really haven't really gotten into it so much as to except for to get that triumph for like all the armor
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They've done so much, I think, to improve the game mode, and in so doing, they have kind of handicapped it a little bit when it comes to like locking down the control points.
Oh, yeah.
When you do that, it locks it out for like 20 seconds, and I think that timer
while.
should be a little bit shorter.
Oh yeah, because that
And then they
match
all
can
reset,
snowball.
they all reset back to not captured, don't they?
Mhm.
Where
And
you
it
go
completely
back and start
throws
all over.
off
So you
your
go
map
from a full
control.
3 advantage to no advantage whatsoever. That's kind of like
The trade-off.
congratulations on all
Yeah.
your hard work and domination and playing this game mode really well. Start over.
Which, granted,
Yeah.
I get why they did that. It was an effort to move players that were properly taking the 2 advantage points and then holding on to them and saying, okay, well, we got the 3rd. Let's just go on a big kill streak for 20 seconds. And then I feel like it was meant to help dominant teams
Yeah.
and throw a bone to teams that aren't so good by resetting the points, which completely throws spawns out of whack, by the way. Good Lord. And I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that, because I know it definitely gets kind of annoying when on either side, when like you're constantly getting triple capped on, and then when your team is triple capping, and then suddenly you've got, advantage on B and C, and now everybody's
Yeah.
spawning behind you, and your point
Yeah.
was taken away. I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what would incentivize me in playing Iron Banner?
No Queenbreaker's bow.
An exotic emote.
Why is that not a thing? Why was that only on sale for $10 and not like a rank 100 reward? I don't understand, Bungie. I mean, I gave you the money, so you
They were
got my
testing the
$10.
waters. They were testing the waters.
And I gave them
A lot of
exactly
people
what
were
they
mad
needed.
that you couldn't earn it in game and throughout
Mhm.
anything. A lot of people were very upset about that.
I'm still mad about it.
I mean, it wouldn't have been so bad, to have that on sale for fat stacks of cash if it was also earnable in game. I think like it just should have been prohibitively difficult. Like I said, get to rank 100 with Iron Banner, boom, you get the $10 emote. Or
Yeah.
just
Rank
spend $10.
100. Good lord.
Mhm.
Yeah, put people to work, baby.
You'd
Or
also
like-
have to put
Nope.
you have to put some catalysts or something in that too. In order to make Iron Banner truly worthwhile, you have to add catalysts. You have to
Like a catalyst is
Have-
only available for this exotic through earning an iron match.
right.
You get people in the pool if it was what I really
Telesto?
wanted.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that Telesto definitely needs. Telesto's catalyst would be like, does not stick components to the wall or projectiles to the wall for 24 years and doesn't one-shot people from 45. It would probably be a deterrent. It'd probably bring that weapon back down to where it's supposed to be.
As soon as Telesto enters the field, the entire other team wipes.
Isn't the catalyst for Telesto Inspire of Stars?
Yeah, I think it's in one of the prestige raids.
Believe so.
Well,
It needs another one.
No. Argos. I think it's in the prestige version of Argos because I think Sleeper is the one Inspire of Stars.
man, has anybody done those recently?
No.
I
wish I
mean,
had
I
a
wouldn't
recently
mind.
done
one.
can do them.
I wanted to get the sleeper one, which apparently you can get anywhere in the raid, not just the last encounter. So maybe
Yeah, you can literally get it from like the first chest that you get. See, I wouldn't mind running the prestige versions of the new raids. I dislike the locked loadouts.
Yep.
Yeah, they need
Like,
to get rid of that.
I
Not a
don't
fan
like
of
that at
Back
all.
to dual primary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What else do we have from the TWAB? We have some big stuff coming for hunters.
Oh yeah,
Spectral Blades is getting massive buff.
Massive buff.
It's gonna be, dude. This is gonna make up for every nerf that hunters have ever gotten from Bungie. Get ready for Spectral Blades to run the show for the next few weeks, at least.
We hope.
Yeah,
Dude,
hopefully.
I don't want to see that new subclass in Drewski's hands. I don't know if you guys have been watching Drewski lately, but this guy is a monster with that subclass as it is right now.
Mhm.
He's a monster with everything. Drewski's a phenomenal player.
I match made with him today in a Rumble match, and it was over within like 4 minutes.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like that dude is nuts.
So we have the buff, because someone in chat was asking, for the super tuning, increased melee lunge range of all attacks, reducing the cost of light melee attacks, increasing the number of consecutive hits required to speed up attack rate, decreasing base attack speed to improve hit registration on intended targets. Yes, loud! Retuned melee targeting to have greater emphasis on player input. Where your stick input is directed toward, or which target your camera is facing.
Basically, so that you stop swinging at the wrong target.
Yes. Added a small amount of damage resistance to the stealth state. Further decrease the super drain when in stealth state. That is a major buff for that, and it was much needed.
Yeah.
Because it was trash tier.
Hit
It was almost
registration on
useless.
Spectral Blade's so bad.
Yeah, it was very bad. You'd hit somebody and then nothing. I mean, that happens with Arc Strider too. I have clips to prove it, but it wasn't nearly as bad as the Spectral Blades was borderline unusable in a lot of cases. It had everything from like a foundation that you were like, all right, this can be a really good way to be aggressive as a Void Hunter, which you're mostly a support class with Tether in most situations, and it just didn't perform that way at launch.
Right.
Yeah, all I wanted of Spectral Blades was for it to be year one Blade Dance brought back. And it's been, it was really disappointing to see how flimsy the class had felt. And it's interesting, one of the changes that they're making is they're decreasing the base attack speed to improve hit registration. So I wonder if that was the main problem with your swings just not connecting with people, if the swing was just happening too quickly for the game
going
to
too
register
fast, Harry.
the hit. Hey, going a little too fast, Harry. So it's going to be interesting. That affect's going. Did they give us a date for when that change is coming?
I believe it's at the start of season 5.
Okay, so like maybe on the 27th, maybe a little after that.
Yeah, we're like with that. We're also seeing the Chaos Reach is getting tuned. The intent of this tuning pass is to make it more rewarding to skillfully time your early deactivation when using your super. So they're turning the energy costs. Hold on. Essentially, it would be more punishing to deactivate the Chaos Reach super extremely early, but less punishing when deactivating later in the super. So they're adding like a skill ceiling.
Yeah, I feel like
Is that Warlock super?
Yes, the Kamehameha.
Kamehameha.
It's the big beam.
It's beam.
Yeah, Warlock.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Bungie needs to demonstrate that, because maybe it's different on console, but that whole saving energy thing just doesn't work on PC.
Yeah.
Like, unless I'm just crazy.
You're probably just crazy.
It just doesn't work. Like, you can stop it early, you can stop it late, all your energy just goes away.
Yeah. Like you would, like right now, if you deactivate it immediately as soon as you activate your super, then you get a decent you get a decent chunk there remaining, but it's literally not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other bit that we're seeing improve, we're seeing performance. Engineer Ben Thompson talks about they're going to be increasing or helping the performance on console by working on improvements for starting up the game, signing on and selecting your character, loading into activities and traveling throughout the destination. loading the player inventory screen and switching between UI tabs. It turns out there's like because they've been improving this so quickly. There's just some stuff in the spaghetti code that is causing a little bit of like just some gears are grinding a little extra hard to make sure that those things happen.
It takes 20 minutes to open your menu on console and find your item and change your weapon.
It takes 74 hours. It takes 74 hours to load into easy.
And on PC, it's instant. Like one of the biggest things when I go back and play on PlayStation 4, especially because some of the strategies in a lot of rooms are like, I'm going to go into this room with 2 weapons in my power slot. I'm going to swap to this one when it's ready to go. And you can't do it quickly because you might even cost you like a death in that instance because you can't make that change quickly, especially when you're going through the haunted forest and you were trying to take out the nightmares quickly. You'd want to swap between helmets to get the extra damage. That menu load time would actually screw you up and cost you to not be able to. Dude, thank God. Major quality of life improvement.
Yeah.
Because load times are bit of a hassle on console. They kind of always have been.
Yeah,
it's good that they figured that out and are going to be changing it.
So, and they're working on it on their side. They've like people have been buying like external SSDs for a while, trying to fix that, anyways. And they're also talking about checkpoint resets. So Glad's tweets have finally gotten to the ears of Bungie. We are currently looking to add reset functionality to checkpoints and various activities like the Last Wish raid. We do not have a specific timeline for when this functionality will be added, but wanted to note that the feedback is under investigation.
What is a reset button going to do? Help me out here.
I'm sorry?
What is a reset going to mean?
Help me understand. Remember in D1 how like you could run Vault of Glass and maybe get to the Gorgon's Maze and then go back to your director and reset the raid so you could start it over?
Yes. Okay, now I get it. Yeah. You could reset your checkpoint, essentially. Yes. You could cancel your checkpoint again. Because I don't know what I was picturing in my head, but I was like, I don't understand. So there's no way to cancel your checkpoint right now.
Nope. Gotta complete the activity. And that sucks.
Okay. Yeah. I could see that being a major quality of life upgrade.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had a tangential thought that applies to the conversation we had earlier. Emotes that actually pop synths, those would be worth $10 to me.
Then what?
If
so
we had synths.
Yeah, exactly. You would have an emote for heavy and an emote for special, and you'd use it like a dance to pop from your D-pad.
Pop a heavy emote.
Yeah.
You want to be able to actually acquire ammunition, and you want to pay for that?
I want to acquire ammunition in a timely manner.
I feel like if they put money behind that, the community would go crazy.
Oh, community's gonna go crazy no matter what they do with microtransactions.
Exactly.
But I agree. Yeah, it's like, wait, I can pay to have a heavy ammo synth,
or just like a moat that pops it for you. That would be fun. I don't know.
Take that comment back. I don't want to hear that come out.
I'm not taking it back. It's in the record.
No,
it's in the record. Everybody on YouTube's gonna be upset with me. They already hate my laugh. It's fine.
I'm hacking this.
That's all right. I love your laugh. Continue.
You know that meme of where it's like, this is like me, customer service, and like my parents. You know what I'm talking about? That's me holding Dan at the YouTube comments, just watching you.
Oh, I love you guys.
Fight you, chat. Oh man,
that's good enough.
Oh,
well, yeah. If it means heavy ammo sensor returning to the game, whatever, I'll take it. I don't know why those aren't in the game right now.
We have flags, TBL,
that you can use in one bit of content. One bit of content.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need ammo for anyway?
Strikes, man.
Just smoke them to death. Dorks don't have ammo. Malfeasance runs out of ammo like in the blink of an eye. Like, I need ammo.
So, I will say this: soloing the Vorgeth, which I haven't completed yet, but I'm going to get it.
Oh yeah, that could use.
There's plenty of ammo in that room. You want to talk about an area where you never run out of ammunition? Whatever the tuning is for that room. Maybe it's because I'm just by myself, and everything dropped, but everything seems to drop a brick of some kind. I have yet
Mm-hmm.
to run out of ammunition in that room at all.
Yeah, I've been running dual primary in that room with the bow and the bygones. So bygones, subtle calamity, and just there's primary everywhere.
Dual
Heavy
sniper.
bricks.
Dual sniper and pulse rifle, and I never run out.
Yeah.
So you just need to be in the Shattered Throne realm more.
There we
Yeah.
go. We'll just move all the game
You'll
content
never
to
run
the
out of
Shattered
ammo.
Throne.
It's
I actually
fine.
wouldn't be upset with that. Shattered Throne is great. I would do other stuff in there.
Hey, Aura, remember when you were talking about the Merciless like 3 or 4 shows ago?
Yeah.
Recommending it in the Crucible?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, dude. That thing is nuts.
Merciless?
Merciless.
You have no idea. The community has no idea because you never see it.
I
lived to many a guardian via the death by Merciless, including Nova Warp. By the way, I sniped like 2 or 3 Nova Warps in the face this week. It felt so good.
Yeah. I have a helmet though. The helmet that you get from the Barons, the really weird looking one for the Warlocks, comes with scatter projectile, which brings in the projectiles for fusion rifles more.
Right.
Holy shit, Aura, that with the Merciless, dumb.
You have the catalyst for it?
I don't have the catalyst for the Merciless yet.
Oh, we need to do some farming, dude.
It is
Because the range and
so
stability boost on that, plus whatever that, I'm gonna go farm that helmet if that's the case. Because listen, if you're out there, you're going into Iron, you're planning on going into Iron Banner. If you're playing 6s, I've had a couple people come and tell me that during comp it was really useful. It's I feel like the charge rate would get me screwed up a few times. I don't know if I'm a good enough player in comp to time my charge rate, but in 6s, I'm telling you guys, we've talked about it so much. Try it. If you're a fusion rifle fan, try the Merciless. You can put a bunch of other exotics. There's other options outside of an exotic and other slots. Try it. Just give it a shot. And then you can at me on Twitter, twitter.com/evilr, 3VIL_Aura. This is a plug. And you can tell me how good it was. You're welcome.
Dude,
Thanks, Dan.
yeah. Like at the moment after that podcast, I went in and I put it on. Holy crap. It is so good. And then I got that helmet later on this week, and it's so much more consistent with it. Dude, like so good.
I feel like they say the charge time on it's listed at like 900, I think. Is that right?
I think so.
It doesn't feel like it though.
No. I mean,
are slower than it.
Yeah, but then again, like you and I, we use fusion rifles a lot, so we know when to start our pre-fire.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's dumb. It's so good. Holy shit. People are sleeping on it. Telesto, who? What?
I saw a Reddit post about it earlier this week, and I was like, oh, Aura's gotten to somebody.
I'm about to try that out. I haven't.
I was at a point where I wanted the fusion, and I was just running through everything in my arsenal, like every single blessed gun that I had. I was like, I gotta find something that, I say the term a lot, like doesn't leave a kill on the table. I don't want to leave a guy one shot because there's no recovery. Swapping to another weapon with the way shotguns are right now, especially the range on some of these, you're not going to get that opportunity to clean it up. Like I need that fusion rifle to hit and be done. Yeah. And the Merciless is the only one that consistently does it and doesn't get me bagged or hate messages like the frickin' Telesto does. If anything, people give me props. It feels good to be a good guy in the Crucible chat.
I'm actually going to have to try that out. I haven't used Merciless really since like Warmind dropped. So.
Do it.
Yeah,
I forgot it existed. Like I legitimately forgot it was even a gun.
I used to use it all the time in the raid in Leviathan.
Great damage. All the time. It was great damage.
Yeah.
Well, all right. What do you guys think? It's question time.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
This there show on up. So there we go, chat. It is the time of show where we answer some of the questions that you Guardians have laid out. I've got one. Now that you know we brought up the Merciless and its efficacy in PvP. Are there any other exotics that people are sleeping on right now?
That I've personally used? I don't know. Sunshot's pretty crispy.
Sunshot is one of those guns that everybody seems to have forgotten about. Yeah, the original really good hand cannon in D2.
No, Sunshot's pretty crispy. As far as sleeping, I don't think I've really used a whole lot of other stuff because I've been stuck in the competitive playlist for a while, so my selection's been pretty limited. But I will tell you, I've been having a lot of fun with Black Talon.
That's super, yeah, because you got
You
that.
got to have one to enjoy it, dude.
Yeah.
Black Talon is really good in PvP. My only issue is that you run out of ammo with it so quickly.
Sword bullets, dude. It's crazy. You have to reload the clip of your sword. It drives me nuts.
Stick this back in my sword. But it's surprisingly useful in PvP because that sword beam comes out instantly. It's as much as I love Boltcaster, and I do want to see Boltcaster return, you get killed so often doing the spinny flip before your blade beam comes out with Boltcaster, whereas Black Talon's just like, whoop, there you go, you dead.
Sometimes though, because I have noticed that with Black Talon, it does have its pretty lengthy animation too.
Not as lengthy as Boltcaster though.
Not as lengthy as Boltcaster for sure, but like you have to be smart with the Black Talon because there's definitely been times where like I know where people are and I'm running at them with the sword and like I do the thing and they gun me down as I'm shooting the thing. Yeah. But if you know that like somebody's around a corner or something, you can shoot it down that hallway and you'll see the thing go whomp.
Yeah, so it's weird.
So is it faster or slower than the Warlock super? Than like
which super? Nova Warp? Because
no,
he's like with Dawnblade.
Dawnblade.
I'd honestly say it's faster than a Dawnblade.
So?
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely faster. Because Dawnblade's the Dawnblade's a little bit slower.
It does kind of arc towards
low wave of death.
Difference there, of course, is Dawnblade's a pretty mobile. It's a pretty mobile super, so they're gonna close that gap.
Yeah.
But the projectile, you might be right. It might move faster.
I've spent the week in comp, and I spent the week with the Supremacy, the Trust, and I forget. Maybe the Sleeper is my power weapon, and I'd say the one thing I feel like I've been sleeping on is sniping. Sniping is just super fun. It's super enjoyable. There's some maps that just really won't allow it in comp, or some teams that are just so aggressive. So I'll swap to a Botheration, but I've been going Botheration or Supremacy, and then the Trust because I've been going after Solar Kill for the Luna's Howl, which is done now. Now I need hand cannon headshot. So, but for me personally, I've really been sleeping on sniping. I haven't done it since the Defiance of Yasmin. Deal with it in Destiny 1. I haven't
Defiance of Aim Assist.
Then.
Love it.
All right.
That's not bad. Lord of Wolves is something you do not see a lot of in PvP. That shotgun is gosh darn ridiculous. And I feel like the only reason people aren't up in arms about it is because not a lot of people have it.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Yeah, the range you can get with the Lord of Wolves is it gets for some kind of unreal shotgun kills in PvP. It's not that useful in PvE. It's not great. It puts out a lot of damage, but
ammo. I hear
that's the thing I hear.
It runs out of ammo
really
quickly. But in PvP, that thing just slaps. If you're having trouble with retold tales and whatnot, like you can map with Lord of Wolves. And when you activate its ability to just fire an extended burst, it's a really forgiving gun. Really,
God, I want it.
It's good.
So wait, does that one only come from the weekly spider bounty, or
I'm pretty sure it's
weekly?
only the spider bounty. That's what I got it from.
Yeah,
so,
I believe it is specifically to spider.
So, but you know how he has 2 sets of bounties? Is it any of the top set, or is it just the weekly?
I got it from the weekly.
Okay.
So the once a week bounty.
Gotcha.
So that's what I need to grind.
Like way back. But the person who I know who got it, they did every blessed bounty that he offered. Like they cleared the entire list. So I thought it was tied to doing all of the bounties in 1 week for the longest time. It wasn't until TBL got his that I was like, oh, it's only tied to maybe one.
Just the weekly. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know the spider has the bounties that are tied to lost sectors, and then the ones that are just tied to just finding the target in the wild, and then there's the weekly one. So I was just kind of curious as to what.
I'm sure it's in the loot pool for all of his bounties, but I figured I'd just do the weeklies, and that's what it dropped for.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I want it.
All right, we ready for questions?
Let's do it.
Rant.
All right, cool. So Jarvinus asks, what are the thoughts on triumphs and seals locked behind RNG?
Oh, boy,
great.
Boy, let me tell you about that one. Yeah. That sucked. Because
I think
when
the
I was
most
going for
egregious-
Gretchen,
Yeah, I think the most egregious example of that was is the Wayfarer and like the requirement to get like some of the Nightfall exclusive rewards.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel
Ooh,
great.
That fucking rocket launcher,
That
man.
rocket launcher, man. It's not real. Doesn't exist.
And the ghost and the sparrow from Dreaming City.
Yep.
Those were extremely rare, right? Yeah.
that's
I
rough.
don't think they're the hardest ones to finish, personally. I think looking at Unbroken,
That ain't happening. Chief.
I'm feeling like that's going to be the one that is the most missing from the majority of people's selections. Like, I don't know. RNG is a thing. It's been a thing in Destiny for going on 5 years now. It sucks sometimes, but at the same time, when you actually finally get what it is you're after, very few things kind of like meet up to that within video games. Like, finally, like, oh my god, I fight, like, I'm fine with it. Sucks,
Yeah.
but I'm fine with it.
We have from Radaka. What would you guys think about elemental primaries coming back that you can only get from high level activities like raids, trials, etc.?
I wish they would go back to the old weapon system in the worst way.
Yeah.
Having energy primary and it's a little bit clunky. It's a real kind of weird when I start a comp match and I got my sniper rifle out and I have to remember to switch to my hand cannon, which is my primary. So it's I don't, like, Bungie told us we were never getting them again, and here they are being a factor in.
Right.
It's
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind the weapon system the way it is now. I think it's infinitely better than the dual primary system we had in vanilla
Yeah.
D2. And I don't know if they're ever going to go back. Maybe with D3. I certainly think the way things are in D2 right now is probably the way they're going to stay. Adding in elemental kinetics like Fatebringer and whatnot. I don't know if it's going to happen. I wouldn't be mad if it did. I don't really care if it doesn't either because we've
Bring it
already
back
got-
as an exotic.
Yeah, I could see an exotic kinetic with an element. Technically,
We had-
Ace of Spades has got that.
Yeah, we had Age of Triumph where they took all the raid gear, or certain raid guns, and they made them exotic.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
that didn't have the same effect on me as it really didn't.
yeah,
Feel the
Yeah.
same as the
Wasn't as cool as like the quest to remake the Gjallarhorn.
Yeah.
Not that I was unhappy to see those come back. Oh man, seeing my elemental vision of confluence come back made me happy.
yeah. What about you, Nim? You look deep in thought.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm kind of fine with what we have right now, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it was nice when we had that back in D1, but I don't know. I think I've just gotten used to the fact of what we got, and I don't personally, I'm not too bothered by it because I mean, when it comes to like doing like a Nightfall or something with like the 100k scores and just coordinate with your fire team, and it's elemental burns is usually never an issue for me. So I don't know if it's an exotic, cool. That's why it's an
That'd be cool
exotic.
for an exotic, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be, because it's tied to an exotic, but I'm not too bothered by it.
Yeah. Polar Mind. What Titan subclass would you buff for PvP on console?
Is there a problem with Titan on PvP or for PvP on console?
I think he's just saying because like Warlock and Hunter have both gotten buffs or getting tuning, that maybe there was a little bit of an oversight on a Titan class.
I mean,
I can
the
only
strong, isn't it?
Yeah, Titan, like Hammer Titan is still a very feared super.
Top tier.
The new one's kind of like clunky in PvE,
Yeah.
but I hear in PvE it's very strong. You've got the face smashing, massive DPS damage. I don't know that Titan really needs a buff. Maybe they need that chest piece that lets you dodge in midair.
Twilight Garrison.
Yeah, like, it's pretty cool to have that back in the game. Just saying, slide that in there.
Yeah, I'm not
I've
exactly
seen-
sure. But
I've seen people I saw one Titan today in comp. He was macroing, but his macro effects, it literally looked like he had Twilight Garrison on because he was stationary at one point and then he was just like he bunny hopped and he was like just on the other side. Like, what?
Powerful. Yeah, I think there are
Those are the
plenty of
guys that
Titan
I can't
options
snipe
right now.
against in comp. That's when the botheration comes out.
Yeah, it was kind of silly, but yeah. I don't know.
Oh man. Sparty asks, how should Trials come back?
Very carefully.
Yeah.
As 3v3.
3v3
Agreed.
with mercy
This
roll.
man.
Yeah, as 3v3.
There really wasn't an issue with how Trials operated in D1. There's a functional issue with weapon economy, ammo economy, and ways to circumvent that with your icebreakers and your sidearms. So I agree. 3v3, Elim, Elim only, like original Trials. Just
there was nothing wrong with that format. Like
It
that was a
worked.
tried and true format.
don't give us like Clash Trials. Don't give us Control Trials. Don't turn it into. Keep it separate from
Keep it its
comp.
own game mode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was one of the Trials is one of those weird instances of needlessly reinventing the wheel and making a square instead. Yeah, 3v3 Trials in D1 was fine. I think with the current ammo economy that we have in D2, it'd be perfectly fine. Because you're right, Aura, the problem with the Trials in D1 was never the game mode itself. It was the ammo economy and weapon balance. And
I say give us 3.
Yeah.
3 special ammo rounds. Give us the option or the ability to wipe an entire team, because that's what kind of made Trials what it was.
Skill, man.
Securing the kill and picking up the ammo thereafter, whatever. Part of the wow factor from a viewer standpoint was watching somebody decimate an entire round by themselves. Give us the ability to do that. Although you compound it, and it becomes 9, but everybody's got the same advantage. I just say bump us up 1 for Trials. Give us 3. Give us 3 bullets.
I would also like to see and so if you take it out of the comp, if you take it out of Glory, see another rank up called Favor, like Favor of the 9 or Favor of Osiris, however you want to do. Use that instead of comp. That way you're not dipping
I have to mute myself for a second.
Does comp go by the wayside when Trials comes back?
No,
for the
I think
weekend,
I think Trials is just going to be in comp. I think they're just going to stick with that.
Yeah.
I really hope they keep it 2 separate playlists.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I think it should still be the same thing weekends, Friday through whatever. I hope they don't mix the 2 together. And I agree kind of with Dan. I think it should have its own ranking system. Because it should.
It probably will.
Right? Its own separate loot pool anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I think it probably will, honestly. Since Gambit has Infamy, it has its own thing, and
Glory. Right, but Infamy, is it going to make you match other players? Like, do you feel like? And
well,
you don't know that. Feel like
you don't know that.
I can't. I mean, watching some of my friends steamroll, some players look like they've never played it before. I can't imagine Infamy.
Yeah, I don't think
matching. It's the same way with the skill-based matchmaking in regular 6s. Like, are you going to make Trials a skill-based match setup to where, as you gain rank, you only play players of that caliber, or do you leave it an unskill-based matchmaking playlist like it was when it first launched all the way back when I was a Sherpa in Trials? Good Lord.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I would like to see the original format of Trials come back, honestly, because it was, aside from what you mentioned, the ammo economy, there was nothing really wrong with how it operated. Like, it kept Destiny alive through
it was the premier mode, man.
Yeah, through House of Wolves to Taken King. Like, I don't know. Oh, also, can we please get stop with the freaking intro screens and Trials?
Taking that away. They're gonna get one intro screen with all 4 players and their loadouts. You might get that, and only for your opponents, right? Because I think that's important information. Whenever you played against real Trials players, They were looking you up on Trials Report or whatever to see how many win streaks you were on,
Mhm.
what your loadout was, so they knew what to equip to counter it. So I feel like you're going to still see something to save players that step. The same way public events are now on the maps for planets, that kind of thing. So I think you're going to see an intro, but it's not going to be like, oh, we do my dance and here's my, like, it's going to be Warlock, Hunter, Titan, like supers and weapons that they're bringing in. And who knows about locked loadouts too, because it was a locked loadout, right?
It
Yeah,
was
they
a
did
lot.
lock your loadout once you loaded in.
No,
Yeah, I
get rid
think
of
the
that.
whole showcasing of the fire team was cool for everybody, like the first time. But when you're on, run number 7, you're just like, come on, get into the game.
Yeah.
Let's get past this.
I honestly,
Neat
I
idea.
like the intro screen for comp. Like that could work with it.
Just show
It
teams.
just shows just
Maybe
2
alter
teams.
the HUD like Aura said to show their loadout and their super
Yeah.
really quickly as part of that
Yeah.
screen. Move on.
Because I don't know. I mean, I used to play Trials a lot during year 1 when it first dropped in Destiny 1 year 1. And it kind of lessened as the years went by, but I think I've only gone flawless once in Destiny 2's entirety.
Mhm.
Partly because the weapon system and 4v4, and I hate Countdown.
Yeah, the game modes were tough. The intros were bad. I think, at this stage in Destiny's life cycle, you're seeing a lot more of a draw to highly skilled players and to Sherpas. And so the environment has certainly gotten harder to go flawless too. The game, the players have elevated their skill level. Newer controllers are coming out. Mouse and keyboard is now involved.
Yep.
So it got a lot harder to go flawless. I think I'd been flawless like 4 or 5 times in year 1, mostly just playing with buds because it's about the only way I could stomach the game modes.
Mhm.
But I feel like a lot of people felt like it wasn't broken.
Yeah.
How'd you fix it?
Yeah.
So I have from Gnarly Jarly. There was Bungie was so good to content creators last year when they needed advice on future development. Is this still the case now in Q4 of 2018?
Yes. They're still
Yeah.
flying. I mean, Professor
Did-
Broman just
yeah,
got
he was
back
a-
from
That's true.
being at Bungie. The whole bunch of people went pretty recently. Yeah, they're still
Mhm.
talking to content creators quite a bit. I think they've even hired a few. Is it-
Right, Holtzman finished up a 3-month stint there a few months back. Same with Mercules, who's worked for PD before.
Yeah.
Massive breakdowns.
Yep, massive
So-
breakdowns. He's finished up his time there.
100% yes.
I'm fairly certain the recent content creators that were there were for Black Armory.
Yeah, they were.
Oh,
They actually were.
Mhm.
easily.
But it was to give feedback. Like they got a preview, and this is all hearsay with very little information they could actually share. Like they were there,
Yeah.
they saw it, they provided feedback. That's all that they can say about it. They can't tell you whether it's good or bad. They can't tell you what they saw. NDA and your entire career is on the line.
Yeah.
But-
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, they were there to preview what was coming and to provide feedback on little things that could be adjusted, fine tuned moving forward. They're not gonna be like,
Usual
yeah,
stuff.
redo the whole thing. Like, no, it's not gonna work. So
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
basically yes.
I think last question for the night. Serotonin asks, what specifically do you want to see from Black Armory?
the last word.
The last word.
I don't even want to see the last word. I want to see more of what we've been seeing. I want to see I want to see it continue. I want to see the Dreaming City evolve even more and provide even more end level content. I want to see maybe a separate storyline kind of evolve alongside of that. I'm a PvP player, but I thoroughly enjoyed the way that Forsaken carried the storyline and continued it on throughout the entire course of the DLC. And I want the Black Armory to deliver that exact same thing.
Exactly. Same.
Yeah.
I think
I
Destiny 2
want-
is in
Go ahead.
the best spot that it's been in. And I think
Mhm.
Destiny as a franchise is in the best spot that it's probably been in. I've said before on this show that I think with Forsaken and the content that we have right now, the quality of the game has finally reached a level where it matched Destiny 1 Age of Triumph. Except it's a bit beyond that because we have better PvP now than we had in Age of Triumph.
Yeah.
So this is probably the best state Destiny has ever been in, and I'm really looking forward to Bungie continuing that trend. We know they learned a lot of lessons from the launch of D2, and that they have, for the most part, taken a new direction when it comes to developing this game. So yeah, I'm super excited for Black Armory. I think with everything that we have in the game right now, an influx of new content and whatnot is going to further the state of the game that we're in. It's good.
I just want to see a lot more loot.
A lot more loot.
A lot more loot.
Loot hasn't been a problem. It's been a variety of loot that's kind of been the thing. We're seeing a lot of repeat. I mean, we all know about Edge
Random rolls.
Transit. There's only so many weapons that fill a spot. A lot of 10 paces out there. An awful lot of whatever that hunter helmet is with the 70 eyes on the front of it. That's dropped for me a bunch of times. So it's like, it's not a lot of loot thing. There is a lot of loot. If anything, I delete a ton of stuff every single day.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a variety of loot that is currently our issue. And it might just be the fact that I just play this game a shit ton. That's why I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff. But I'd like to see a bit. And I don't know, like, how do you design more weapons with a limited supply of perks and archetypes that you can build in without making something completely broken? But I agree. I want more loot, but I want to see some different stuff, man.
Yeah,
Give
variety.
these alien races weapons.
Yeah, man.
Give me a hive boomer. Put it in my hand.
Isn't that kind of like 1,000 voices as a hive boomer on like steroids?
Not really. It would act as like a grenade launcher.
It would be a grenade launcher, yeah. Just a...
Grenade launchers. Don't say that word anymore, dude. Grenade launchers don't belong in this video game. At me. Fighting lion people. Xanafan.
Oh, I went up against him today in Rumble as well.
Oh, how'd that go?
I won. No, I was so close to winning the first match. Like I was at 19 and he was inching by. And then like at the last minute, I whiffed my Nova Warp somehow. And he used his Sentinel and he got me and he won that Rumble match. It was so close, but it was good. It was that's the second time I've seen Xanafan in matchmaking. I ran into him with his buddy in comp once. That one we won, but yeah, it was neat. I like running into friends.
I think what else is confirmed for Black Armory? We're going to be getting a
raid lair.
We're getting a raid lair, possibly on Earth, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it looks like it might be in the EDZ.
We're getting
Who's the primary enemy? Do we even know?
No clue.
Supposed to be Hive.
No clue.
From what I've heard.
Okay.
Or Red. from Anon.
Oh yeah, Anon. He also said that the Black Armory will feature like a true
Horde mode.
Yeah, Horde mode, where
Horde
as the further down you get, the better the loot. What else? We know the heavy machine guns are coming back.
I'm gonna break the game wide open, dude. I just
last
don't know how you
word will be coming
go
with Black Armory, but we won't see it at launch. Is another comment.
There's no way they're gonna put that in the loot pool. That's going to be a quest. It has to be.
100%. That's gonna be a quest.
Time gated quest.
Like sidearm headshot kills when you're backwards and upside down, or some. Every time you die, it goes backwards 45%. Every kill, it goes forward 0.001%.
Or just race sparrows.
There's, you wonder if it's going to be tied to PvP or PvE. I'd imagine it would be tied to PvP, but
yeah,
probably.
Who knows?
Yeah, Tex Mechanica.
Yeah. Oh man, Arms Week. I want Arms Week too.
Yeah, when is that going to become a thing? There's still a bunch of exotics that don't have catalysts.
Please, Arms Week. Please.
Yeah. I just want the gunsmith to come back the way that he was in D1 with. Was it even Arms Week back then where you could come back and you could pick a weapon and you had 3 different roles you could pick?
Yeah, you went and field tested it.
Yeah.
There was a couple really good guns that came out of that.
Yeah. So someone on Reddit posted what they would do with the UI for that, and it looked really, really nice. I don't know. I just want to see it come back. I want to see that concept come back in an event, and that event too last week.
Yeah.
Once a month, please. So possibly during like a full curse week, that would be fun.
That'd be cool. And
Yeah.
Did they
Hopefully
say
we'll be
anything about
learning
new
more about that
strikes?
soon.
I'm always a big fan of a new strike. I'd imagine, right?
I'm sure there will.
Yeah,
Always a new
so-
strike coming up.
From the little infograph that they gave us, I don't know, can't remember where it was, but it's access to the Black Armory, Forges of the Chain activity, raid layer, new exotics, new legendaries, new triumphs and collections, bonus rewards, which is also around the time that the Dawning event is going to be coming as well. So, heavy machine guns and
Yeah.
Iron Banner, gameplay updates and seasonal ranks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That they've
Healthy batch
officially
of
put out.
content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'll keep us busy for a couple months until the spring.
I just hope that new exotics portion is not entirely consistent of old exotics.
Yeah.
That are
Yeah.
coming back as new exotics. Don't get me wrong, I'm more than happy to see Last Word or Icebreaker or whatever come back, but I'm always a sucker for something brand spanking new that we've never seen before. So
You get a new exotic called Outlaw, and it's just a clip that you fire when you squeeze.
I feel like the Bungie's not afraid to break things.
Mhm.
There's a
They're
couple
not
of exotics
now,
right now that are armor that are, by definition, just broken between the shards of Galanor and then there's the
Ursa
Ursa. There's a couple things out there that Bungie's proven, and there's no patch notes saying we're going to tune this down.
yeah.
Good.
So Bungie's proven they're not afraid to make something ridiculous. So who hasn't gotten absolutely broken armor? I guess the Warlock hasn't, right? Busted broken. I'm going to get my super back in 3 seconds.
No.
Armor.
No,
There's
I mean
Geomags,
they
but-
have the Geomags is good, but I mean I wouldn't consider the Controverse holds broken, but you do get a one-shot nade back quickly most of the time.
Mhm.
And I mean, there are other
it-
builds that you can do that too, with like the Verity's Brow or the Nezarix and.
Yeah, but those take a lot longer. This has the chance to give you your grenade back like on kill.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, I'd rather you have your grenade back on a kill than be able to do Blade Barrage again or have 17 Sentinel Titans in one Crucible match.
Or better yet, getting energy back from Nova Warp kills.
Oh my god.
Yeah, baby.
I'm sorry I even brought this up.
Can we
Yes.
update the Skull of Dio Hamkara to do that?
Please.
Oh man. Oh, did you guys hear about the Oath Keepers this week?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, what happened with those?
So
That's
Oath Keepers were broken.
Yes.
They had so you could hold the arrow indefinitely, and it was supposed to speed up the reload for bows, right? It's supposed to make them go faster. They didn't fix that at all. Instead, they're like working as intended. And they're basically just keeping it the same. They're removing that note of it the reload increasing. They're removing that from the exotic description.
There's probably some kind of physical mechanic behind it where they just can't actually get it to function that way. I used the Oath Keepers. I did the Triumph for bow kills, 100 bow kills, and I think 25 precision shots. And the Oath Keepers did help. They helped me, get that done. But yeah, they're whatever.
Yeah.
They went right back in the vault, right back in the collections, and most likely will never get used again.
Hanging on
As
the
is
wall.
Customary.
Next thing,
Other
go ahead,
than
Nick.
that, I think the last thing that we have here is from Moonvald, our boss. Moonvald the Chief.
She said
she's
I'm fired, by the way, twice.
She has fired you twice. I saw that in chat. So clear out your desk. And then, well, since your desk is at home, clear out your desk.
They're at your home.
And then fill your desk again.
All right, guys.
See you later, buddy. But she's asking us to please remind people that the website will be relaunched on the 25th of November. That's right here. They still have some pages that are a work in progress, but it'll be back up on the 25th. So, yay!
LandofDestiny.com.
Hell yeah.
Well, right on, and I think with that, we are brought to a close on episode 177 of the Planet Destiny podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. This has been a fun one. We spent a lot of time talking about microtransactions, and I think we gave some pretty good ideas. I think we could be paid to do this sort of thing, Bungie. Give me that contract. I'll come up with nonsense.
Wait, hold
for
on.
you.
We're not paid by Bungie already?
We're not. I wish we were. We're definitely not. I would take that contract in a heartbeat. Oh, absolutely. You could call me ShillBL. As a matter of fact, for the live chat, give me that hashtag ShillBL right now. I would take money to say nice things about Bungie. I do it for free right now anyway. Absolutely. Not even a question. Well, good show, everybody. Good stuff. Before we get out of here, we're going to let you guys know where you can find us across the internet and what we've got going on, starting with Mr. Aura. What up, buddy?
Hi, everybody. My name is Aura. You can find me twitch.tv/Aura. You can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/evil-aura, 3VIL_AURA.
Beautiful. So concise and well kept together.
I'll mess it up one of these days. I'll be like 3Q.
You'll just have to make a Twitter account with that handle, and that's what you'll have to use from now on. Dan, where you at, man?
Hi guys. You can find me on Twitter at Danfinity, but the I's are L's. Nim, I've missed you so much.
God, I love that.
You can find me on Instagram at DanFinitTwitch. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Danfinity, and here on Fridays in the morning at twitch.tv/Planet_Destiny. This week is the season finale for SideQuest Sunday, and we had Blessius on, and it was a wonderful conversation. Look for SideQuest Sunday to return early next year, and until then, I'm going to be editing the Planet Destiny podcast and hanging out because I love you guys.
I'll miss it. SideQuest Sunday's a fun show. You should check it out. It's pretty good.
It's so good.
Nim plays Twitter, Nim plays Twitch. You can also find me over on the Planet Destiny YouTube site. I'll do occasional reviews for weapons and stuff like that, and that's I upload this stuff I send this to Moonvault as well.
This man is quite literally always on Twitter, like always on Twitter, to the point where actual legitimate Bungie devs like pay attention to his tweets. And
yeah, that's weird, dude, because that just means I can't shitpost.
Nope. Gotta be a professional individual. See how that works.
Second account.
There we go. Alter ego. As long as that alter ego hates the hive because they smell bad. My name is The Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere across the internet. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at The Black Link. This week's more of the usual stuff. We've got the streams and whatnot starting at around 11 a.m. Eastern Time, going to about 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Monday through Friday, so come check me out. You'll also find me on the Planet Destiny YouTube channel, youtube.com/Planet Destiny, doing things. Just things. I can't give you a guarantee of what those things will be, but things are going to happen. If you want to find out, you got to tune in. That's the hook, everybody. But all right, that's it for episode 177 of the Planet Destiny podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you, Guardians, next week.